Hello and welcome back to East Coast Clash with me, Kilbo Baggins, for the second time in a row. Can't get rid of me that easily. We are here on track 2 for our last game on this track here at our wonderful venue, Darebin Community Sports Stadium. And we are bringing you Ballarat versus Geelong Roller Derby. Now, this is sure to be a great match. I'm very much looking forward to watching it. Let's quickly run through our team rosters. So for Geelong, 111 Stitch, 222 Machine, 238 Bee Sting, 333 Ra, 44 Cyclo, 51 Melonhead, 57 Rock, 73 Liz Williams, 777 Blizzard, 83 Jackie Ono, 2 Dakota Blocker, 23 Hail Skating, 247 Turbo Kobo, 4203 Pyro, 444 Warwick Snapper, 555 Mad Splatter, 6 Bad Juju, 76 Mad Pixie, 8 Race Car, and 99 Morbid Murder. And for Ballarat, we have 01 Freak Show Francis, 15 J-Rex, 1969 T, 22 Corey, 300 Monk, 500 The Mad Splatter, 814 OG, 111 Slasher Scissorhands, 166 Birdie, 200 Craig, 266 Beck, 47 Alice, and 55 Snipples. Now, before we get started, we want to pay respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. We acknowledge that this event is taking place on Wurundjeri Woi Wurrung land. Always was, always will be. Now, our skaters are taking to the track, so we are about to get started very shortly. You are right, our camera is a bit blurry, and I'll see if I can track down some help to get that rectified for you, Bunny, as soon as I can. Sorry about the delay there, guys. I am trying to find some help to get this camera in focus. I am simply your wonderful host for the day. I do not want to touch any buttons or any cameras that I'm not supposed to and break the thing entirely. So the countdown has come all the way down, so we are about to get started. Looks like we're just waiting for the last few official bits, the scoreboard coming up, and everyone to get settled before the rolling whistle takes place. And here we go, first jam. Looks like we have Mad Pixie up against Corey from Ballarat. Geelong taking the front line as both tripods attempt to catch their respective jammers. Pixie pushing all the way at the front, has to be released, grabs lead status first for Geelong. Corey muscling their way through, only about half a track behind. And Pixie takes a wonderfully open inside lane. It's really wonderful positional blocking there from Geelong, just holding Ballarat to one side, allowing Pixie to do Pixie things and just slip up and inside. So first points on the board for Geelong. But we have Freak Show Francis up jamming for Ballarat, and looks like 7-3 Liz Williams jamming for Geelong. Some big hits to get through the pack with both of these jammers. Freak Show picking off that Geelong defense one by one, forcing them to bridge out and grabbing themselves lead jammer status. Liz Williams now completing their initial as Freak Show re-enters the pack hot. Freak Show there working around the hips of Geelong players, grabbing themselves one whole point and calling off that jam. So Ballarat is now on the board. All right, everybody joining on the live stream today, we do have some technical help coming from our wonderful streaming partner, Maven Marv, helping to make this a bit clearer vision for you. So we do have Mad Pixie grabbing lead for Geelong for this jam as OG works the front of the pack trying to make their initial. OG. Headphones have just gone out. Sorry. Alrighty, guys, we have fixed up that camera for you. Thank you so much for your patience with that one. And again, big shout out to our shooting partner, Maven Marv. I have missed a bit of the action here, but looks like Pixie has slipped through for 4 more points now. OG has stashed the star as a Pixie does some excellent hopping up the inside for 4 more points on an absolute monster jam so far. Bit of a tumble there. So OG has passed off the star to, that's 300 Monk. Now Monk is a guest from Team Regional Victoria who has already played a game this morning. So props to them for working very, very hard and playing all the derby this weekend. Monk sees an opportunity and grabs it, slips up the inside, completes the initial pass there for Ballarat. Pixie looks to their bench. Waits, calls it right as Monk re-enters that pack. Unfortunately, does incur a back block penalty re-entering that pack, knocking down player 5-7 Rock from Geelong. So it will be a full power start for Geelong Roller Derby, and they're sending out a Cyclo to make the most of this opportunity for their team. But that was an absolute monster jam from Mad Pixie previously, 24 points in total. Full team offense there from Geelong, trying to really mess up that Ballarat pack, keep them separate, keep them unable from joining together to give Cyclo the best opportunity to push forward. And is doing so now, forcing the bridge from Ballarat, causing the no pack and drawing a penalty as well. That looks like T from Ballarat is being sent to the bin. Geelong had successfully grabbed a goat. I believe that's Birdie there had grabbed at the back, making it just a little bit easier for Cyclo to grab some points, but was recycled there by Ballarat blocker Alice. Monk has been released from the bin from Ballarat as the jammer, has completed their initial pass and is coming around with Cyclo hot on their heels. And a wonderfully timed call off there from Cyclo. There seems to be great synergy between Geelong and their bench. They're really waiting for these last seconds before calling off these jams. Thanks to that mammoth jam by Mad Pixie just before, they want to hold on to the 31-point lead they have developed in 4 jams. So Corey up now, jamming for Ballarat. Can't quite see the Geelong jammer, but I will let you know when I do. And Corey recycled up the inside. And that's allowed number 7-3 Liz Williams to capitalise and grab a lead. However, Corey, not to be slowed down, has just pushed their way through, overtaken, and is trying to come into that pack to grab any kind of points, but Liz Williams looks at their bench and goes, no points for you. I'm calling this off. And thank you everyone for joining us. This is our last game on track 2 for East Coast Clash 2025. We've had some fabulous derby all weekend. If you've had any favourite moments, please let us know in the comments. And also, if you're here at Timmins Chico Rollers, let us know in the comments. I'm not biased, I promise. So looks like we have OG up with Cyclo now. Bit of a very messy, scrummy pack. Both doing a wonderful job holding those jammers back. OG really working on a solid Geelong tripod there. A little slip and OG has grabbed themselves lead jammer status for Geelong. And drawn a power jam. Cyclo has unfortunately cut track, is sent to the bin. So there is a 30-second opportunity for Ballarat to make up some of this points differential. Wonderful teamwork there from her blockers, allowing OG to slink through for 4 points. And wonderful passive offense as well. Going in for one quick movement and then pulling back and drawing a no-pack penalty on Geelong, allowing OG to slip through for more points there. Cyclo has been released from the bin, completed their initial, and is coming through now looking to score some points. Cyclo did come in pretty hot and, yes, was able to snag 1 point before OG had the call-off completed. But a really great effort there from OG, collecting 11 points for Ballarat, down to Geelong's 1. Oh, that's good to see. Corey and Pixie up on the jammer line now, both getting super low. And quick lead for Corey, but very quickly followed by Mad Pixie as the pack tries to run away from both of them. Corey looks to their bin and wants to get their jammers out of, get their blocker out of the bin. Does so successfully. Calls it off and was able to keep Geelong scoreless. So double donut jam, but very strategic from Corey from Ballarat there. They really wanted to make sure that they had a full lineup of blockers for Freak Show Francis for this jam. So Freak Show now up against Liz Williams from Geelong. Bit of a tumble from Liz Williams, allowing Freak Show Francis to capitalise and grab another lead status for Ballarat, really helping that momentum for their team. Oh, wonderful work from Freak Show Francis. It's something we've seen from them all weekend long. Coming in super, super fast and utilising that speed to take an open lane on the outside, slip through, grab all 4 points, do a quick call off. It's just beautiful, beautiful jamming. Corey and Pixie shenanigans are the best. Yes, I agree. Now, very grateful to have played several games with both of these teams. They're both full of wonderful people and they're always great to watch. Big hit there from Cyclo. Just opening up an outside after giving a big hit to Ballarat blocker Monk, allowing them to collect lead jammer status as OG is recycled all the way back by Morbid Murder. Cyclo working now and trademark side surfing to get through. It's something we've seen from them a few times and it's always good to watch, particularly in those lovely pink skates. A bit chaotic around this apex now, but Ballarat able to complete their star pass successfully. OG handing off the star to Monk. Cyclo also successfully navigating the chaos, grabbing 4 points and calling off before Monk can come in and score any for Ballarat. So a lovely 8-point jam there for Cyclo. So as we are now up to our 10th jam of this first half, we are sitting with Geelong on 41 points and Ballarat on 15. Cyclo skates are gorgeous. I love colourful skates. I'll go tell them later. Make sure they hear it in person too, don't you worry. Thank you for the comment. Looks like Ballarat have taken their team time out as well. Opportunity for them to reflect on what's working and what's not working, make a new plan, reassess. They've seen now what Geelong's trying to do. They keep consistently grabbing that front line and sinking back. Let's see how Ballarat adapt after these first 10 jams or so. And just before we really get started back into the action here, just for anyone that may not have been caught up on the live streams earlier this weekend, our wonderful, wonderful first aid partners, Deadly Sports Plus, who are an Aboriginal-led and LGBTIQA+, SB-led charity providing high-quality training and first aid services, are enforcing a heat rule. So there will be an extra long intermission and 2 5-minute breaks every between each half. This just makes sure that we have enough time for our skaters to cool down and stay hydrated in a very hot day. And it is humid in here because everyone's sweaty. Rolling whistle has been called. Players are back on the track and we've got more Pixie and Corey shenanigans. Yay! Ballarat now claiming that front line, seeing if that will help. Pixie has taken a tumble and is being run all the way back by Alice. Unfortunately, the same has happened to Corey as they have tried to take the inside line. And a cut track has been called on Mad Pixie, allowing Corey to grab lead jammer status and a power jam for Ballarat. The team's set up. Ballarat's ready to do offense. They're just sending in Alice to break up that pack before Corey hits the pack. And then hopping back and grabbing Turbo Kerbo from Geelong as a goat. Now, for anyone that may not be aware, a goat is when you take a defensive player from the opposite team and hold them at the back of the pack, stop them from rejoining their other defensive players, and almost guarantee your jammer a point at the back of the pack there. So Mad Pixie has been released from the bin now and is on her initial pass, dodging and weaving and getting completely caught up by Alice there as Corey comes through for 4 more points. Pixie has made their initial, but Corey's had enough, calls it off. They have a little chat and a smile, and we're ready for our next jam. So I am blocked a bit by the officials and the bench crew, but I believe that is Freak Show Francis up with Liz Williams. And there is a pack advantage to Geelong. We do have 1 Ballarat skater in the bin. Doesn't seem to deter Freak Show Francis, though. Through for a quick lead, but Liz Williams hot on their tail. There's some... Oh! And there has been a penalty called on Freak Show, so there is now a power jam for Geelong this time. So Liz Williams successfully scoring 4 points as the last Ballarat blocker is released. Alice trying to catch Liz Williams as they make their way to the engagement zone. Not quite successful, but Liz Williams is then caught up in the Ballarat pack at the front there. Thank you so much. No, I'm okay, got And a special shout out, if they ever watched this back, to Achilles Wheel for providing snacks to the commentary team of one. I do appreciate it. Sour squirms are my favourite. So, looks like Liz Williams still working very, very hard to get past, but some wonderful all-in team offense from Geelong, allowing them to sneak through. And this is something we saw consistently from Geelong as I was watching their game with Team Regional Victoria yesterday. They really are wonderful at working cohesively in all-in team offense, really have set roles on what they're doing. And, a big fall from Liz Williams. They are back up, seems all right, but as someone who played Ballarat on the first day of East Coast Clash, the Ballarat wall, it can knock you on your butt. I believe this is our heat time out now being called by the officials. So we will have a 5-minute break. And again, I've reiterated it time and time again, but this is for the safety of our skaters. It is so hot and humid in here. There's very little ventilation, but this is still an incredible venue. So thank you so much to all our organisers and to Darebin Community Sports Stadium for hosting us. But this is just to ensure that everyone is hydrated and that our first aid partners, Deadly Sports Plus, can go around and have a little spritz. They have some water spritzers, which are like heaven. And just make sure that we're all staying nice and cool. Skaters are taking off their helmets, releasing some of that body heat, ready to keep playing at a nice high level. But this has been an interesting first quarter. So Geelong really capitalised early on a big jam from Mad Pixie there. So they're now sitting at 49 points with Ballarat with 23. There has been a few penalties early on that I am curious to look at as well. Yeah, so mad splatter from Geelong there with 2 directionals, but only a few spread across the rest of the team. No one in any danger at this point, but what's that? 3, 6, 7 penalties across the team. So you do want to keep those nice and low. But a fair few more for Ballarat as I expected. So 2 cut tracks there for Freak Show Francis. And 2 each for J-Rex, Monk and Alice. So just something to be aware of as we get into the next quarter of this game. We just want to keep it nice and safe, because if you're on the track, you're helping your team. If you're in the bin, at least you're having a break. And just while I'm noticing all around the track as well, big shout out to all our officials and NSOs as they currently surround the fan by the door trying to cool down. It's not just hot and sweaty work out there for all our skaters. These officials and NSO are in full gear, skating around trying to keep up with how fast these pack and these jammers are moving. So thank you to all the effort put in by our officials all weekend. I see a few photographers hanging around as well. Thank you again for your time. As someone who dabbles in photography myself, I understand it's a lot of effort to bring your gear down, take photos for the love of the sport, edit them all up and share them for us all to enjoy. So thank you to Ra. I've seen Hawkeye around. I've seen a few others that I might not be able to mention by name, but big shout out to everyone who puts any kind of volunteering time into Derby to make sure everything goes ahead and we have wonderful memories to look back on. We do appreciate it so much. And big smiles all around as skaters return to their benches for the end of this heat break. This is the second Geelong game I have yapped about this weekend. I was very fortunate to be able to commentate yesterday as they took on Team Regional Victoria. A really great game to watch, a really close first half, and Geelong just had an absolute screamer of a second half and pulled away with a very convincing win. But a great game from both teams. And as I said yesterday, it was fantastic to see Geelong roller derby as their own association. They have been playing in our local statewide Stampede tournament as Pivot City Rangers for a few years with our friends from Gippsland Rangers. I do believe they'll be competing in statewide Stampede as Pivot City Rangers once more this year. But it is wonderful to see the growth of roller derby allowing associations to stand on their own. And there is the rolling whistle. So our heat break has been completed. Everyone looks at least slightly refreshed in the absolute sweltering heat in here. And we are sending out, looks like Mad Splatter from Geelong is up for a jam. I did not see them jam yesterday, so this is fantastic. I know they normally pivot. So I'm very interested to see what Splats does here up against OG from Ballarat. Geelong going for a 2-2 formation, which proves to be super successful, able to squeeze down that Ballarat tripod in the centre. And Mad Splatter was able to grab a very quick lead, hopping up the inside line. Geelong feels great about their defence right now. They've really locked down an OG at the front there, allowing Melonhead to be sent back and do offence for her team. Mad Splatter is coming around for another scoring pass as OG is still working on their initial. Wonderful, wonderful toe stop work up the inside. Takes a second, looks down, checks that they're in, and all good. And we've seen another star pass here from Ballarat. Monk doing double duty, taking the star. I believe that's the third or fourth time this game. And Splat's running this one long as we do have a few Geelong skaters in the bin that they'll want to free up. As the Monk is really working on a very set Geelong tripod at the back. Mad Splatter is recycled, but coming in hot with some offensive help there from Turbo Kerbo. Oh, sorry, that was Dakota Blocker doing the offensive work. Wonderful offensive work there for Geelong. Mad Splatter having a wonderful time, just absolutely dancing up the inside line. 4 more points. It's a 20-point jam for Mad Splatter. Really, really wonderful job. We do just have an injury in the middle, just being transferred back to the bench. I'm just popping you on Be Right Back just while we transfer that skater away. Everyone seems to be okay. There's just a bit of medical attention. And that's all good. Just making sure that everyone's okay and happy at their bench with first aid from Deadly Sports Plus. We do appreciate them so, so much. But I can confirm that the skater is back at their bench and is okay. There is a discussion happening in the middle at the moment with our refs. Unsure if it's an official review or if it's just a timeout to discuss some of the finer points of the game. now, and we have some cheerleaders for Geelong. I believe they're just outside the view of the live stream, but on the bottom apex right in the corner, I see some red and black streamers, pom-poms, that's what I'm looking for, some red and black pom-poms. So love to see a cheer squad, whether it's in person or on the live stream. I've seen some love pouring out for both teams here, and they're both doing a wonderful job so far. Seems to be the end of the time out here. Unsure at this point in time what the officials were discussing. There don't seem to be any penalties awarded to either team, so we have a full lineup for both. And everyone's favourite pairing, Mad Pixie and Corey, back for more shenanigans. This time Ballarat grabbing the pivot line, wanting to squeeze back on Geelong, avoid that 2-and-2 squeeze that they faced before with the Mad Splatter. Pixie immediately trying the outside before being captured. Oh, and a massive hit on the outside there from Hale skating on Corey. But, oh. Seemed to be a bit of confusion there between who was lead. It was awarded to Corey as they had left the they had successfully navigated their way through the pack, but were removed from the end of the engagement zone with that massive hit from Hale skating. So there may just be a few confirmation bits now with an official timeout being called to determine if the lead call was correct, as Corey did call that jam before Pixie could get any points. And also allowing time for wonderful official muggles to fix the track from the carnage of that big hit. I do love a cross-track hit. Don't like receiving one, as I have many times from the Geelong players, but it's great to watch. Looks like Ballarat is just shifting their lineup of skaters a bit. Sending out for fresh bodies, and OG up with Cyclo on the jam start. And we have 5 seconds been called. The action is about to start once more. And a bit of a run-up by both jammers. Cyclo trying to sneak up the inside. Stopped by a wonderful job from the Ballarat blockers. Is able to collect themselves quite quickly, get back on and come through for lead. OG stashed the star, but was able to complete their initial pass too, as Geelong really ramps up the energy here, trying to get through, collect some offense for Cyclo to grab as many points as possible, including a big hit by Ray Scar to the outside. So successful 4-point jam there for Geelong. And yes, I did mention it yesterday, but I will again. We have debutants, which are my favorite. I love seeing the development of our skaters. A lot of them I have skated with in ModCon across Victoria. So Jackie, oh no, on debut for Geelong. We love to see it. Oh, and a lovely duck on the outside there from Freak Show Francis to grab lead for Ballarat, but the Mad Splatter is hot on their tails today. And very, very typical of Freak Show to come in super fast from the pack, duck around the outside, 4 points, call it off. Beautiful, beautiful jamming there from Freak Show. unsure exactly where Cyclo got her skates from, but they are high cut bonds, and I do believe that is a hot pink Falcon plate. The local favourite, which I can do a shout out for as they are a sponsor of Dragon City Roller Derby, my association, is Bayside Blades. We love Bayside Blades. They recently matched the donation for Dragon City Roller Derby for our Team Australia Juniors. As I ramble on, Corey has grabbed lead for Ballarat. As looks like Liz Williams is being caught up with some great defence from Ballarat, as well as Corey comes through for their scoring pass. Wonderfully done there from Corey. And a star pass. We have Melon head jamming. I do love a Melon jam. I wonder if Corey will call it off before Melon is able to re-enter the pack. As I suspected, though, Melon is a formidable blocker. Having watched her jam several times, she is not to be discounted as a pivot or a jammer. There you go, confirmation. Cyclo skates were from Bayside Blades, Victorian Legends with a custom order. Ooh. Ooh, a bit of jammer on the start line. Pixie setting up and blocking Freak Show right to the outside. And a hit! And a successful hit! Oh, I love watching Pixie do jammer on jammer. Given one good knock to Freak Show on the outside, knocked them off balance and given herself the opportunity to come through for a very quick lead. And again, as I was speaking about yesterday and again today, Geelong have really focused on doing all-in team offense. They're picking off a player each, sweeping them to one side and opening up a lane for Pixie. And to be honest, Pixie doesn't really need a whole lane. But when it's presented to you, you take it. So that was a great little 4-point jam there from Pixie. So Geelong now sitting on 81 points, Ballarat 34 as we get ready for this next jam. Official timeout. Small delay, we're back shortly. I think we're just confirming points between score timers and jam refs. We will have Cyclo in the custom skates, custom pink skates, up against OG from Ballarat. I believe we have Zave in the bin for Ballarat as well, so it could be a 4-3 pack advantage for Geelong here, and it is. So they'll have the one extra blocker to get started with. They have claimed the jam line early. They want to start right at the back and sink back onto OG there. It is a common strategy used amongst teams that if you do have that disadvantage in blocker numbers, that you want to claim that front line. Allow yourself the opportunity to sink back on the other team and try and crush them while also holding that oppositional jammer. Easier said than done. Just a few confirmations here at the scoreboard with the score trackers, so I'm sure we're back underway shortly. Our Geelong cheerleader still doing strong just outside the view of the live stream here. I really do hope they're good moves so you could see just how fabulous those little pom-poms are. All right, rolling whistle, we are back on. Ballarat have sent up Corey with Cyclo from Geelong. Cyclo seems to have taken down one of their own players, but All good as Mellon holds open the inside line for them to take. Racecar giving some big hits to Corey, managing to stay inbounds and come through on their initial. Geelong doing all-in team offense, breaking apart a gap for Cyclo to take. Jump from Corey, unable to successfully grab any points. But a 3-point jam there for Geelong. And now we have Freak Show Francis up on the jam line. I'm just trying to determine who... Oh, beautiful toe stop work up the outside there by Freak Show as Mad Splatter for Geelong just muscles their way up the inside, but unfortunately does cut the track doing so. Freak Show slides in, grabs 2 points, and gives a full 30-second power jam start to Ballarat. I believe they're going to send up Corey and make the most of this opportunity to try and close down this points differential before halftime. And Corey will also have a pack advantage as well. There are 4 Ballarat skaters compared to 3 from Geelong. Oh, and a big hit from Racecar there on Corey again. The same blocker that they were trying to get past on this previous jam. A few penalties being called there. It's getting a little bit scrappy, but you do have to expect when you have Racecar and Corey on the track that you're going to cop a couple of big hits. They are incredibly powerful skaters. So Mad Splatter has been released from the bin and is now 3-3 for each defensive pack as Mad Splatter is able to make through their initial. Corey calling for offensive help from their blockers coming through and grabbing all 4 points. Yes, well done. Yes, if you see Corey as a jammer or Racecar as a blocker, expect that you are going to cop one. I have been on the receiving end personally of a full cross-track hit from Racecar, and it takes the wind right out of your sails. So now we have Liz Williams with Freak Show Francis, with Freak Show doing an absolute trademark running start. The pack is still fairly close together. Liz Williams able to use the safety of her blockers to sneak through and grab lead. A lovely force out there from Turbo Kobo. And ooh, nope, we're up. A little stumble there from Freak Show Francis. Looked a bit nasty, but she's straight up. Built different in roller derby. Oh, beautiful. Again, Freak Show Francis comes in so hot to the back of the pack. You have to be so ready and you have to be so aware of your outside line, as if there's an opportunity for Freak Show to bean dip under your outside defense, they will take it. And every time it looks amazing. So that was all 4 points, I believe, given to Ballarat for that. Oh, no, I stand corrected. I believe they might be reviewing the points in 3 and 3 we have on the scoreboard. Just took a second for it to get up there. So with 2 minutes left in this first period, Geelong have managed to keep their lead, sitting on 87 points, but Ballarat is fighting hard, coming back on 43. So there's still 44 points in it, so that's only a couple of big jams between them. I know Ballarat's got that very determined look in their eyes, so I'm very, very interested to see the second half of this game, as both teams are working incredibly well Ballarat really focusing on staying together with strong tripods, locking down Geelong jammers for as long as possible. And Geelong, I've seen them a couple of times separate, rather than a tripod and a dag, separating into two pairs of blockers, coming in for a squeeze, opening up lanes for their jammers, really working on their offensive strategies. As we come in for the next jam with Cyclo and OG. Cyclo offered some assistance from Melon. Doesn't need it. Pushes that pack forward. Sneaks up the inside, grabs lead. The star has been stashed by OG, but is trapped with a very strong tripod at the back of that pack there. Another Ballarat blocker sent to the bin as Monk takes the star pass and collects a massive, massive hit from Rayscar. Unfortunately, that has earned Rayscar a penalty and they will hop in the bin now. And Cyclo through now for 4 more points. Look like Monk now has completed their initial pass and popped on the star as Ballarat's new jammer. And just 2 Geelong skaters on the track. I will be interested to look at the penalties as we go into halftime shortly. Cyclo dances up the inside, collects 2 points and calls it off. So with that, there's a 14-point jam there for Cyclo. Awesome effort, bringing Geelong to triple figures on 101 and Ballarat Roller Derby on 43. And with less than 30 seconds left in this half, this will be our final jam as Pixie takes on Freak Show Francis. And there's a massive tumble of knees and bodies, but Pixie manages to capitalise and grab lead. Wonderful work there from Beck, taking out Rayscar on the outside, just neutralising a very strong player as Pixie comes through for a scoring pass. And just breaks through the arms of that seam and comes through for 4 points. Looks like Free Show Francis was able to hit the pack and grab 3 of the 4 points available there. And that will take us into intermission. And just before I let you go for our extended break, I'm just going to have a quick look at our penalties. And as expected, it's getting a little scrappy in there. So Dakota Blocker with 3 forearms and 3 penalties also for Mad Splatter. 3 is not of too much concern at the moment. We do foul out if we do get 7 in total. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that for the second half. And to look to Ballarat, Alice is sitting on 4. So we will have to keep an eye on Alice's penalties coming into this next half. 3 penalties also for J-Rex and T. So just something also to be aware of as we go into our halftime break. Now, as I mentioned before, we will have an extra 5 minutes added onto our intermission today to allow for our heat policy. It's really starting to ramp up in here. I believe it's close to 34 or 35 degrees and all the sweat's making it very humid. So we're going to take a little extra break so all our skaters can cool down and rehydrate. And as always, please leave all your love in the comments in the live stream and we'll be back with you with about 2 minutes to go. Thank you. Hello, live chat, and welcome back to the second half of our final game on track 2 for East Coast Clash 2025. For our final game on this track, we have had a great first half from Geelong Roller Derby, sitting on 105 points against their opponents, Ballarat Roller Derby Ratpack, at 46 points. So as we get started onto this half, I'm really curious to see how the Ratpack respond to this points differential. I have seen them have some stellar second halves over the course of the last year or so, watching them over statewide stampede, and they have a very strong lineup at the moment. A few guests here and there, but we do appreciate everyone popping in to help out. And it may be just me, but I feel like the heat has really ramped up in the last 15 minutes of this intermission. It is so warm. So it's going to be hard work for all our skaters. All of these skaters have skated at least one other previous game. I know a lot of skaters have skated at least 3 or 4 to help out teams across the tournament. So it's a big weekend for everyone involved. And again, a huge thank you to all our event organisers. It has been a mad last-minute shuffle after we lost our Queensland teams due to Cyclone Alfred. We do hope they're all doing okay. So to have a full schedule reshuffled and organised with about 24 hours is an incredible effort. So huge shout out to everyone involved in making East Coast Clash happen. So that is our intermission done. We have all our skaters back on the track. Looks like we have one Ballarat blocker starting from the bin. So our first jammer pairing for this half is going to be the Mad Splatter for Geelong up against Corey from Ballarat as we are about to get started. And we're off, and there's some real power from Corey. Matched with a beautiful toe stop work, just sliding on the inside and grabbing lead for this first half for Ballarat. Mad Splatter has completed their initial as Corey comes through, trying to get as many points as possible. Listens to their bench, calls it off. Mad Splatter does try and slip the hips through, but was unsuccessful. So a 3-point jam, for Corey and Ballarat, and none for Geelong. So that's some good momentum to take them into this second half. So hoping to capitalise on some more momentum for Ballarat, make up this points differential. We have OG up with Mad Pixie, who is squatting down so far you can barely see her. And Freak Show Francis moving from jamming to blocking, doing the absolute most but unable to contain Mad Pixie, who comes through as lead. OG listening to their bench, doing a wonderful job, immediately stashing that star, but is able to get through on initial. Oh, beautifully done there by Freak Show. Pixie has attempted an apex jump and just met the hip of Freak Show Francis, unable to collect a point on the jump, but just slip the hips around Freak Show, grabs 1 point and calls it off before OG is able to re-enter the pack. And as I said yesterday, I was really admiring the sparkle shorts that Pixie was wearing in bright red with the white uniform, but now they're in the black uniform top. She's wearing sparkly black shorts, and I will have to speak to her after this about where I can get me a pair of those because they look amazing. And Freak Show Francis with the big run up, diving and dodging into the Geelong pack. Comes through for lead. Ray Scar was not happy about having to let that jammer go either, as Cyclo works at the front of the pack trying to pick off players one by one and completes their initial pass. Freak Show comes through, but first immediately secures Ballarat 2 points. And may have slipped around a few more hips, and yes, it seems that they got all 4 points and kept Geelong scoreless. And taking a team timeout as well. taking a moment to breathe and reset before sending out their next pot of blockers. Sending out Corey while Pixie scrambles to the line to get there in time. So more Corey and Pixie shenanigans. And there is a pack advantage again for Ballarat. They have one more blocker with one Geelong in the... Oh, no, I do apologise. There they are. They're hiding behind a head. So all in. A stumble from Pixie and a scramble, but she remains in the safe zone and comes through for lead. And good positional work there from Ballarat. They just held open the inside for Corey to utilise as well. And Pixie slips through and grabs 4 points for Geelong there. Very, very typical Pixie, just doing excellent jamming as per usual. And Ballarat are really claiming that pivot line with their blockers now. They do not want to let Geelong continue to crush them from the front. It does also leave them open for exceptional offensive work from Mellon that I know is coming. As Liz Williams is jamming up for Geelong, is pushed outside by blocker Alice as Freak Show works and works and works up the inside, scoots up the inside line. Nice lead there for Ballarat. Again, just a very, very quick switch from defence to offence by Geelong, allowing Liz Williams to come through on initial very, very quickly. There was an attempted jump there from Freak Show Francis. Was able to grab a single point, but so was Liz. 1 point apiece. So as the heat and the gameplay gets hotter and hotter, we have Mad Splatter up with OG. Whoa! That's a full cross-track hit attempt from Freak Show Francis as a fence. And then immediately tries to push their other defensive player to assist. Unfortunately, that does incur a penalty for that blocker as Mad Splatter comes through with lead jammer status. OG immediately removing the helmet cover. But seems the Ballarat pivot Freak Show is completely absorbed in their defensive work. And that's a complete star pass now. Freak Show is the new jammer for Ballarat as Mad Splatter is coming through for another scoring opportunity. A few tumbles and a few more bits of lovely team offense from Geelong allow Mad Splatter to scoot through unscathed. And Freak Show has completed initial pass and is now the jammer for Ballarat. But Mad Splatter collects 4 more points, completing a lovely, lovely 12-point jam there and holding Ballarat scoreless. It's been a couple of really big jams from Geelong so far. We had a massive 24-point jam from Pixie in the first half, and a few 14s and 12s and 16s scattered amongst the rest of their jamming lineup, all of them who are doing fantastically today. But I really think what is working so well for Geelong is they are switching from offensive play to defensive play and back again incredibly quickly. As soon as they release that Ballarat jammer, whether it's a no pack or they just lose them, they are not hesitating. They are going back. They are picking off individual Ballarat skaters, pushing them apart, breaking them up, and allowing more gap opportunities for their jammers to score through. Just taking notes for when I play Geelong and Pivot City later this year. This is actually just a thinly veiled recon session. But they won't mind. We love Geelong, we love Ballarat, and we love Victorian roller derby. Just a few more confirmations up with the score trackers at the moment before gameplay gets underway. I'm sure it won't be too long. And if you are still joining me on the live chat, spread some love. Have you seen some great things that I haven't mentioned from either team today? Have you seen some great things from across the weekend? Have you seen some Division 1 plays you've always wanted to watch? Let me know. Give me a chat. Say hi. We are back to gameplay. Corey up for Ballarat up against Cyclo. And Corey just incredibly strong, muscling their way through the pack. And again, that Geelong offense allowing Cyclo to only be half a track behind. It's limiting any point speed by Ballarat getting these lead jams. Corey comes through, dips under, dives, gets an easy 4 points as Cyclo really works their way up the outside line. Still only about half a track between jammers at the moment, going point for point. Beautifully swept through by Ballarat. Just kept open enough of a gap on the inside there for Corey to utilise. That's an 8-point jam there for Corey as opposed to 4 points for Ballarat. Just while I have 5 seconds, a little special shout out to Maven Mauve, our streaming partner, who provided me with a little iPhone charging link so I can charge my phone and keep my live chat open. So thank you very much for supplying all this wonderful, wonderful commentary setup and a charging cable. We do appreciate it. Pixie now making short work of Ballarat's defense there. Unfortunately, we did have a blocker tumble over, which is just enough opportunity for Pixie to utilize. Freak Show Francis also trying to muscle their way through, is hit out but straight back on as Pixie just cleans up the inside. I am going to pop us on Be Right Back for the moment. We do just have a little incident with a blocker here. We're just going to make sure that they are safely away from the camera while they receive some medical attention. Everyone seems to be A-okay. There's nothing too serious going on. All right, 5 seconds has been called. We have Liz Williams all in at the moment. A bit chaotic. Unfortunately, Liz Williams was out of that pack first, but did incur a cut track penalty. So we have a power jam for Ballarat and OG. There's some wonderful one-on-one blocking happening there by Turbo Kerbo and Dakota Blocker, really covering all the way to each line. Unfortunately, if you are playing Geelong or Pivot City and you see a pod met up with Melonhead, Turbo Kerbo, and Dakota Blocker, it's not going to be easy. And they are doing a wonderful job despite Ballarat really trying to get in there and mess things up. Ballarat's defence now opting to sit back and force the breakage of pack as Liz Williams is released from the penalty bin. Trying to really lock down on Liz Williams here because I do not want to give up any space that OG is pushing for at the front. Again, against 3 of the Geelong blockers you just don't want to be up against. For every foot that Liz Williams pushes forward, it is 1 foot that OG has worked so hard for that is unable to work to their advantage. Liz Williams has stashed the star, enforced a multiplayer on one of the Ballarat blockers. So it is 2 Ballarat blockers. I think it's Zave and Alice working with Liz Williams at the back there, trying to keep them contained. Bit of fancy footwork unfortunately resulted in a tumble, but that happens. As OG is still pushing hard, and in this heat, this is incredibly hard work. They are leads. They do not want to take that helmet cover off as Melonhead and Race Scar just lock it down. And big, big cheers from everyone on the track, and a couple of rounds of applause from me as well. That was an absolute masterclass in locking down in your tripods and in your pairs and blocking well, keeping your jammers contained, working on solid defense. That was beautiful, beautiful blocking from both teams there. We have a 4-3 pack advantage for Geelong, which Mad Splatter makes complete use of. Slips up the inside for a very quick lead for Geelong. Corey forcing the break a part of the Geelong pack through and is speeding to try and chase down Mad Splatter as quickly as possible. Oh, lovely work from Corey there. Oh no, unfortunately that was a cut track penalty. I had thought they had successfully snuck up the very, very inside of that apex, but unfortunately they did cut the track while doing so. So it is now another power jam for Geelong and Mad Splatter. So Ballarat trying to stay at the front and reform as Geelong gets ready to really utilise their all-team offense. They're setting up, they're ready to go in, waiting for their jammer. And in, Morbid Murder really pushing apart the brace. Bit of a tumble from Mad Splatter, but they're straight back up before they can be recaptured. And a wonderful transition on the inside there to escape Ballarat's defense as Corey is released from the bin. And big cheers in the Geelong bench. That was a lovely piece of footwork by Mad Splatter on the inside there. And an official timeout has been called. That was a fantastic jam. Both jams. Both with wonderful jamming work there by Mad Splatter, and then the one before with just incredibly solid defense. Beautiful stuff to watch. Just while I have a moment, I'm just going to see how our penalties are tracking now that we're halfway through this second period. So Turbo Kerbo from Geelong is now sitting with 4 penalties, so we will have to keep an eye on that. Again, if we have 7 penalties, that player will foul out and be removed from the game. It is a fairly penalty-heavy game today, and let's just have a look at Ballarat. Yeah, so 4 penalties each for J-Rex and Alice. So just something to be very, very aware of, that you want to keep things nice and clean. But there are a fair few penalties spread across both teams as well. But we can't really blame them for doing a few penalties when it is very hard and fast derby on both teams here. And it's also 1,000,000 degrees. So they're working hard. Oh, and I do love this pairing. This is Freak Show Francis up with Mad Pixie when we return from the official timeout. Both electing to stand a fair way back from the jam line, looking for a big, big run-up. It is fairly trademark of Freak Show Francis to do so, but I enjoy Pixie's strategy brain, picking off jammers one by one and adapting to their techniques. We do also have, for this next jam, another pack advantage for Geelong due to these penalties. So Beck is sitting in the bin for the moment. So only 3 blockers out there for Ballarat compared to 4 for Geelong. This has been pretty effective for Geelong so far, as they're able just to hold or open a bit more space or send in Melonhead as dedicated offence to open up some room for Pixie, which is a scary thought as someone who's played against Pixie many a time. Not entirely sure what the official hold-up is at this stage. There seems to be some discussions in the middle. I don't believe it's our heat break at this stage. But for our Victorian viewers, who's excited for statewide Stampede? I can't wait. Our first round is only a few weeks away, 5th of April in Bendigo, hosted by us, Dragon City Roller Derby. We are so excited to have you. I believe both Geelong and Ballarat are playing, not playing each other, but keen to see everyone take the track in our home game of Statewide Stampede. Super keen. Wonderful work by Pixie, allowing her tripod from Geelong to set up completely and ducking under their arms. Sneaks through for lead. And Freak Show Francis taking an open outside lane presented by her team to come through behind. And Pixie knew from her bench to call it early then, as Freak Show was absolutely thundering down the straightaway looking to grab some points. So a very, very well-timed call off there from Pixie. 4 more points for Geelong, bringing them to 147, with Ballarat sitting on 65, held scoreless in that last jam. Yes, I'm excited for Statewide Stampede. Thank you, CD Steele. I cannot wait. We look forward to having you all in Bendigo. As Corey takes the track as jammer for Ballarat, with Liz Williams jamming for Geelong. Oh, almost beautifully done. Corey was doing some excellent running up the inside line on their toe stops. Unfortunately, did just step out of bounds and had to be recycled all the way back by Morbid Murder there. And some big hits happening here. Looks like everyone's getting up and is okay. This is just getting... It is to be expected. Ballarat and Geelong do have some very hard hitters. Everyone seems to be okay. Unfortunately, in doing so, Corey has drawn a penalty. I'm not quite sure what it is at this stage. So we have yet another power jam opportunity for Liz Williams and Geelong. Liz Williams coming to almost a stop at the back. I think she was waiting for the offense to go in before she did. But it was effective regardless. As soon as Liz made contact with the back of that pack, the entire team was in for a incredibly well-executed sweep. You can basically screen record that last little section, show it to your teams and go, this is a textbook version of how you do sweeping offense. And they have frozen Corey in the bin as the jammer as well. They are standing, so they will rejoin the pack shortly, but they've sent Cyclo out for Geelong to make the most of this power start opportunity. There was a false start. Oh, my goodness. Another big hit on Cyclo there by Alice. And the jam lead has been awarded to Corey, grabbing lead from the bin. And Cyclo's done well there to spread apart the blockers for Ballarat and allow themselves to get through. Corey doing big call-offs there. It does get a bit hard to see for our officials sometimes. I know I have been reprimanded before for not making my call-off signals as big as they could be. We do thank all our officials for their time and for their knowledge and expertise. And I believe this will be our mandated heat break. So just got a bit scrappy and a bit messy at the end. I'm just going to do Baggins things and check penalties again. I'm always aware of them. Yeah, Turbo Kerbo sitting with 4 there. Not a lot for Geelong, but it's mostly Ballarat that I want to see here. Yeah, 3 forearms for T. It is something just to be aware of as a player, that if you are consistently getting the same penalties all over and over again, it's something to reflect on and see where improvements in your gameplay style can be made, because you don't want to be causing penalties and hopping off track, and you also want to make sure that you are skating safely. So yes, back to shamelessly self-plugging statewide stampede. Our next tournament for our Victorian teams will be on April 5th in Bendigo at the Bendigo Showgrounds Rec. We look forward to hosting all of our teams that day. I'm very excited as a Chico roller to be playing against the South Sea Banshees for the first time in my career. Just shamelessly self-plugging. I believe we have locked in the Taco Man for yet another year. Those who have been to statewide previously will remember the Taco Man and his taco van. And we will also be hosting raffles. And a lot of the money from our raffles will be going towards Team Australia Junior Roller Derby. Juniors really are the future of our sport. We love fostering them. I've seen several aged up juniors. I know Winona Fighter from East Vic Witches was playing this morning. We also have Double Whammy from Westside, who is still technically a junior skater playing Division 1 Derby with Westside. An incredible effort. And the money we raise from our raffle at Statewide Stampede at Dragon City Roller Derby will be spending towards sending out 2 players who have made the Australian team up to Brisbane for the Junior Roller Derby World Cup in July. So we have 2 junior skaters made the team, and we also have 2 coaches. So our junior coaches, KTKO and Sugar, have both been selected as coaches for the open gender and the female team for Team Australia. So we are very, very proud and very, very excited and super happy to support them and to send them up to Brisbane to represent our country later in the year. Just going to take this quiet time here for a couple of minutes of a break while we have our heat break here. Thankfully, this is, well, I can't say thankfully. Unfortunately, this is the last game of the day and the last game of the tournament here on Track 2. So sad to see the close of East Coast Clash, but playing the 3 p.m. game in this heat does not sound like fun. So probably a good time to have a nice afternoon beverage. And there is our rolling whistle. So this is the last heat break we will have for this game. We are now playing until the finish. We have our last 15 minutes of roller derby here at East Coast Clash Track 2. 5 seconds is cool. We have Mad Pixie up with Freak Show Francis. And Pixie really working apart to push apart these packs. Gets caught up in her own defense for a sec there. Unfortunately, Freak Show has incurred a cut track penalty, allowing Pixie lead jammer status and a power jam. Unfortunately, not the person you want to give a power jam to. And it is trademark Pixie, the way she cuts through the arms of the seam of blockers. Really capitalizes on being a little bit shorter and being very, very fast. It is cutting straight through the arms and either breaking them apart or incurring a multiplayer penalty. It's very, very smart jamming. And that's wonderful offense there. I believe that's Bad Juju. Just came in and held open the inside line for Pixie there as Freak Show is released from the bin. And wonderful again from Bad Juju, just popping a hip in the way so Freak Show could not scoot up the inside line. Freak Show unfortunately took a knee and a big hit on Rock there, getting through on their initial pass. Rock straight back up, smile on their face, love to see it. And Pixie just dancing around on the track. She really is just so agile and fun to watch in those hot pink skates. So a wonderful power jam capitalization there from Geelong and Mad Pixie. That's a 16-point jam and held Ballarat scoreless. This is an awesome, awesome effort. They're starting to pull away a little bit with the last quarter of this game. So Mad Splatter up with OG and Ballarat electing to have the pivot start with the back, trying to open up some offensive assists there for OG, who does some really wonderful toe stop dancing up the outside. Unfortunately is recycled on the inside by Rayscar, who is having an absolute stellar game. And this recycle allows the opportunity for Mad Splatter to come through and grab lead gemmer. And Freak Show Francis pulling double duty yet again, grabbing the star as the pivot and is now the new jammer for Ballarat. Oh, wonderful, wonderful show of strength there from Freak Show. It's a deadly combination when you have someone who is fearless, will come into the pack super hot and is incredibly strong. So that was 3 points apiece there. And it was nice to see the star pass and the pivot given the opportunity to re-engage the pack. I do love watching a pivot jam when they're given the opportunity. It's always great. So Corey now on the lineup with Liz Williams. And a bit of jammer on jammer there. Corey just stuck out their hips and blocked Liz Williams and actually recycled them as part of that and allowed them the opportunity to grab lead for Ballarat there. Very smart, aware jamming. You always want to be aware of where your other jammer is. One point apiece there. Corey did hit the back of the pack very aggressively, but Liz Williams was hot on their heels and really wanted to make the most of the capitalization of the opportunity to grab a point, was able to do so. So at 10 minutes left or so, we are now sitting with almost a 100-point difference. Geelong 175, Ballarat 72 as we start this next jam with a massive, massive jammer on jammer. My goodness me, Freak Show absolutely laid out Cyclo there. But I did see a smile on both their faces. Ended up working in Freak Show's favour as they have come through for lead. No. Unfortunately, there is a cut track for Freak Show there. Their skate toe stop did just hop on the inside of the track as they were coming through. This allows Cyclo to come through now for a power jam for Geelong. They are really capitalising on these power jams, Geelong. Another beautiful display of side surfing there by Cyclo to get through on a scoring path with all 4 points. And some really, really nice one-on-one blocking here by Alice from Ballarat before, unfortunately, stopped by the blocking pod of Geelong. Is able to offer some time for Freak Show to get out of the bin and allow the Ballarat tripod to really set up and be prepared to catch Cyclo. So that's really well done by Freak Show, forcing a no-pack call, getting through. At the same time, Ballarat was recycling Cyclo all the way to the back. So it was a big stretch of players and a beautiful, beautiful display of bridging from both teams. And a high five from Cyclo to Dakota Blocker as they come through for some more points. That's good to see. Giving some love to your defense and offense as you come through. So there is an official review. I am fairly certain that Freak Show Francis is disputing the cut track penalty and arguing that they were making their way back to the inside to be recycled and the cut track was called preemptively. I could be wrong, but that is my understanding from some very terrible lip reading from the bench crew and Freak Show speaking to their bench. We'll just keep an eye on the score with the result of this official review as well, because if the case, there may be some points stripped from Geelong's score. There was a 12-point jam that last jam, bringing them to 187 to Ballarat's 80. So we'll just keep an eye on that as the officials discuss the official review here from Ballarat. Fearless Freak Show. I like that the best. Thank you, Brooke, for the comment. It is... As someone who does jam for my team, it has taken over a year to build up the confidence to come onto the pack at full speed. And my full speed is not Freak Show Francis's full speed. It is truly grit, determination, and fearlessness. And it's really admirable the way that Ballarat has been jamming. Just really, for lack of a better term, just full sending it. It's a very Gen Z term of me. I apologize. Oh, and finally, for those who have stuck through from the first half listening to me talk all day, which I do appreciate, you can now see my favourite Geelong cheerleader. And they're on the back of the track on the top apex there with their black and red pom-poms. We love to see the support crews for all our teams. Cannot do it without them. Absolutely not. So it seems that our head ref is now relaying the decision of the official review to the benches. teams also using this opportunity to cool down once more. I don't see any changes reflected in the scoreboard as of yet. My assumption at this stage is that Ballarat has lost that official review. But that is all right. That's why we ask the questions and we let the refs tell us what they saw and why they have made such decisions. So thank you to our officiating and ref team. As we get back underway, as we have more Pixie and Corey shenanigans. Very tight pack again. And Corey's power on display there. Beautifully done, pushing apart. Oh, good attempt there by Ballarat blocker to get Pixie on the outside. Unfortunately, Pixie only needs a toe stop's worth of room. And well done by Corey there, picking up all 4 points, making big call off, very visible to their jam ref, and keeping Mad Pixie scoreless, a feat in and of itself. So 7 minutes left to go. It seems unlikely at this stage that Ballarat will make up that points differential, but they can always finish strong, which is what you want to do. So OG now up with the Mad Splatter. Mad Splatter doing a little bit of a hop on the outside there, but slowly forcing Ballarat to bridge and able to slip up the inside. OG immediately stashing that star, calling for the pivot, and Zave has taken that star and is now the new jammer for Ballarat. And gets a penalty called on Dakota Blocker. That's probably a good one you want to get a penalty called on. And unfortunately, Mad Splatter has incurred a penalty on their scoring pass. So this is now a power jam for pivot turn jammer Zave. And getting all the hype from their bench. That is the Ratpack rattling down the ground on their bench for Zave, the pivot jammer. We love to see it. And oh, beautifully, beautifully done. Slunk the hips around, crept up the inside. The 4 blockers on track looking to help out with offense if needed. Letting Zave hit the pack first before coming in and offering assistance as needed. And then pulling out. That's smart offense. You go in, you try and help. If it's not working, you pull back and you reassess. 4 more points for Zave there. And because it was a star pass and we did have lead awarded to Geelong, this is a full 2-minute jam, so 30 seconds left. Jammers have to keep hustling in a very, very hot day. And Mad Splatter is through once more, being released from the bin. A lovely spin on the inside there from Zave as both teams look to get resettled. As we've seen time again, these jammers are generally only about half a track apart, but that's all the time that these blockers need to go in and do some quick offense to help out. So a really wonderful power jam there for Zave as the pivot turn jammer after that star pass, grabbing, looks like 16 points, could be 18. My eyes might be deceiving me. Bringing Ballarat to triple figures. They will be so pleased to have reached 100 points. So Corey now paired up with Cyclo. And a little bit of a hesitation and tussle at the jam start, as Corey really makes their way to each line. Is awarded lead, but is behind Cyclo. Does not feel like a jammer chase down right now. Calls it off. Double donuts, no points for either team, that jam. And that's just smart jamming from Corey as well. Noticing immediately that the blocker who had hit them out at the front of the pack had also fallen over. That allows them to hop straight back on the track. They do not have to be recycled to the back and are able to continue on and make a strategic call again from there to call it off before Cyclo can come through and score points. Just very smart awareness of what's going on from Corey. So Pixie now dancing around with Freak Show Francis, working on this Geelong at the front. Gets the no pack call and is called through for lead. This is what I'm talking about. Ballarat really want to finish strong here. So there was a penalty called there. It was for a Ballarat blocker. Pixie did think it was her for a second there. Pixie's looking at her jam ref. She's like, did I get any points with that? She was so... And that was 1 point there for Freak Show and Ballarat. And 1 point at a time always helps. So just over 2 minutes left to go. And we have the Mad Sputter up again with OG. And really powerful stuff there from OG. She just got Geelong's pack on the move and capitalised on that and just kept really pushing hard to get themselves the lead. Oh. Is knocked out on that scoring pass there. And big tumbles from everyone. But everyone's rolling up and okay, all good. In all the confusion, Mad Sputter did manage to sneak through and grab all 4 points. And looks like 2 points there awarded to OG for their efforts. That was a really strong display. You're very right, Brooke. Just powering. As soon as you get those blockers on the move, it's something that I personally do as well. As soon as you feel those skates really rolling and they're not in their solid plow stop stance, you just keep pushing. So very, very strong work there. Corey and Cyclo up again, a little bit of a jam line tussle, and beautiful, beautiful toe stop line work from Cyclo, but Corey is on the hunt. There is a super fast jammer chase down as Ballarat tries to get to the front. Successfully stow as well. Oh! Lovely stuff there. Corey snuck to the inside, went out. Snuck to the outside, went out. But seems to have grabbed 3 points for their troubles. Just really great blocking there from Turbo Kerbo and the rest of their blocking pod. So it's looking likely that we have our final jam of East Coast Clash Track 2. Oh my goodness. So Mad Pixie taking the star and Freak Show Francis. And again, just these very tight, messy, scrummy pack starts. Unfortunately, that messy start has also meant that Freak Show Francis has gone to the bin. Pixie working on a power jam. And lovely bridging there from Ballarat. Just foot perfect before they have to eventually let Pixie go. Pixie hits the pack, and here comes the all-in offense. So Pixie managed to successfully grab 4 points before Freak Show Francis is released from the bin with 2 bean dips. Oh, she spoils us with that. 1 and 2 on the outside, ducking under defense. Oh, and again. Ducks under defense, but unfortunately runs into her own teammates. And a tumble from Morbid Murder at the end. Which resulted in a penalty for Moors, but I believe that that is the end of our game. So thank you everyone for joining us, and I agree. It's going to be such a hard pick for MVB and MVJ for this game. Awesome work all around. Completely agree. This was a very intense match. Everyone was giving it their all. There was some massive hits, some wonderful jamming from all involved, a wonderful debutante from Jackie Ono, and just some really, really solid blocking from both teams. So we do have some lovely, lovely final score numbers here. Geelong Roller Derby taking the win today with 211 points. Ballarat Roller Derby giving it their all, ending up with 112 points. As you can probably hear, Geelong having a wonderful celebration of their efforts today. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. I really appreciate your kind words in the commentary here. Thank you again to Maven Marv, to Darebin Community Sports Stadium, to all of our sponsors and helpers, and especially to Deadly Sports Plus for helping us out in some extreme weather conditions. And again, once more, thank you to everyone involved in making East Coast Clash happen this weekend. It has been an absolute mess around, and they have turned it into a wonderful, wonderful weekend for all. I've had a wonderful time. I know a lot of the other skaters I've spoken to have had a wonderful time. It's been a monster effort. Thank you so much for joining us. You may catch the last of the action over on track 1. I believe Sirens and Ward are still playing at this moment. But again, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us at East Coast Clash. Have a lovely long weekend, and goodbye for now.